Hi friends, welcome to the video lectures on Technical C by Shravan Kumar Manthri. So before going to solve the programs and loops, first we'll see the introduction about the loops in C and also some definitions of loops and also a special case in for loop also we'll see. So loop control structures, why we have to use these loop control structures? When you want to execute a statement or a block of statements or set of statements repeatedly for a particular number of times, so then we require the concept of these loops in C language. So what are the loops that are available in C? One is while, the other one is do while, and the other one is for loop. So like this we have, and that is when you want to execute a block of statements repeatedly. So you don't want to write every time, that is the first thing, and you want to execute the same statement repeatedly. Somewhere some condition is true, then you want to come out of the loop. So we can write in these three ways: while, do while, and for. So if come to the first one, while loop, so it is a sequence of statements are executed until a specific condition is true. So that means while a condition, you can see here condition to be given. If this condition is true, then only it enters into the loop. When this condition is true, it is enters into the loop, and again it goes with the condition like this. When this condition is false, then only it comes out of the while loop. So you can see with this like flowchart like diagram. So loop entry, it checks the condition. If it is true, again goes to the loop, executes, and again loop entry checks the condition like this, and whenever it is false, it comes out of the loop. If you take a simple program, so here you can see I have written int I equals to 1, where while loop I have written the condition. So here you can see for any loop you may require three constraints, that is initialization, condition, and either increment or decrement. So here I have written I equals to 1 is the initial value of I, and while this is a condition. So I less than or equals to 5. That means what is I value? 1, and 1 less than or equals to 5, yes, true. Actually you need to remember, it is not exactly about true or false, it is about 0 or non-zero in general. That means 1 less than or equals to 5, yes, true. You are saying true in the sense the value inside the while is non-zero. So non-zero means it enters into the loop. So 1 less than or equals to 5, yes, true, non-zero. That means what is I value? 1. Next I equals to I plus 1, this is increment. So next I value is 1. So after the closing brace, it won't come here and it has to go to here. That's why because it is a loop. So now I value is 2 updated, that is 2 less than or equals to 5, yes, true, means the condition value is non-zero, so goes inside the loop. And also you can write the print this I value 2, next I value 3, next I value 4, next I value 5. So like this it will print every value. Now what is the next I value? 6. Is that 6 less than or equals to 5? False. False means the while condition value is 0. 0 means while of 0 means comes out of the while. So that is the thing you can write. See here, not only you have to write while I less than, I greater than, I, you can write simply while of 0. You can write while of 1. While of 0 means never it enters into while loop. While of 1 means it executes the statements repeatedly until inside the while somewhere you want to write some break or exit, some jumping, some statement, so that it comes out of the while loop. So you can write simply while A, while B. So that means what I want to explain, while of whatever inside the value, is it non-zero, then it enters into the loop. If it is 0, it comes out of the loop. So that is what exactly happens in while loop. It's not exactly about true or false. Now what about do while loop? So in while loop, if you observe, so whenever the condition is true, then only it enters into the loop. That means when it is checking the value, first it is checking the condition, then if it is true, that means if it is non-zero, then only it allows us to enter into the loop. But whereas the do while, first it is allowing us to enter into the loop. That means do statements, that means it allows us to enter into the loop. Then after the execution, it is asking for what is the condition. So first you need to enter, you need to check it out everything. So let us suppose if you go to some ATM machines where you want to withdraw money, it will take all the values, that means what is your data input except password, except your PIN number. It will ask how much money you require, that means how much money you want to withdraw. After entering everything, finally it will ask for enter the PIN number. So that means it is allowing to do all operations, but then it is asking to enter the PIN. If that is PIN, it is entering. So if PIN is correct, then we can withdraw money. That is another thing. So it is asking at the end, but whereas in while loop, first it will ask for the PIN. In some cases it will ask the PIN number first, so then only you enters into the loop. So that is what this is what the difference when you consider for while and do while. So that's why while you call it as entry control. When you enter, then only it controls, then only it checks the condition, whereas do while, after the completion it checks. So that is what it will do. So sometimes when you want to have a food, first you will have a token and then only you will have a food. That means checking the condition at the starting. That means it's similar to while loop. And some cases you will find you will have a food in restaurants. After having a food, at the end you will pay the bill. So that means after the completion of the task you are paying the bill. So this is what you can take as general daily life examples. So whereas you can see with example here void main, here I have given I equals to 1. Yeah, immediately it enters without checking any condition. So printf I value 1 will be printed, I plus plus. That means now I value is 2. While 2 is less than or equals 10. Yes, true. It goes inside. Now you can see this condition it is checking. Next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like this for every value it will take. And let us suppose here I value is 11. Then 11 is less than or equals 10, false. Then it comes out of the loop. So like this it happens in the do while. So what is the difference we see in while and do while? We said it as while is entry control and do while is exit control, like this. So we'll see exact difference in terms of execution for while and do while. So like this I have taken 2 programs. So in do while in syntax you can see here, so you have to definitely keep here semicolon. So remember this point. So that's why I'm writing here. So in order to don't forget about this one, here after the end of this while you have to keep semicolon. Anyway, here it is not required. So in do while here it is required as per the syntax. So now you can see here int I have taken 2 programs. We'll see here I equals 11, here also I equals 11. Here the condition I less than or equals 10, here also I less than or equals 10. Here I is incremented by 1, here also I is incremented by 1. Same type of constraints we have given, but will they give same output? We'll see. So here I equals 11, is that 11 is less than or equals 10? False. So in the initial step itself it is coming out of while loop without printing anything. So output of this one is nothing will be printed. Is that right? Now coming to this one, I equals 11. So do, that means without checking any condition it has to go. I mean, is that right? So that's why printf %di. So that's why I value will be 11, will print first. Now I value will be incremented by 1. So I will be now 12. Is that 12 is less than or equals 10? False. Now it comes out. That means it is giving the output as 11. So even if you give the same constraints, both the programs are not giving the same output. And that's what we can conclude, like here while loop executes 0 or more times, whereas do while executes 1 or more times. That means at least once it will execute. So that is what the main difference you can see here. Now coming to the for loop, and previously we discussed about while and do while, where we kept if you see this one, we kept initialization at the before the while loop. This is initialization, condition here, increment here. So in different lines, and of course in do while also. But whereas in for loop you are able to you have a flexibility that you can keep all these 3 things in one line. It's not compulsory, you can keep. So you may keep outside also, not a problem, but you can keep all this in one line. So that is a first thing in terms of the syntax. So for initialization, then checks the condition, then increment or decrement. So like this, what happens is first initial value, then checks the condition. If it is true, means non-zero, then only it enters, then goes here, then again checks the condition and checks. So when this condition is false, means 0, then it comes out of for loop. So we'll see one example. So like here, for I equals 1, I less than or equals 5, I plus plus. So initial I equals to 1 is less than or equals 5. Is it true? That means non-zero. Yes. So non-zero means it prints 1. Next I plus plus. So I value will be 2 less than or equals to 5. So yes, true, non-zero. Next 3, 4, 5. So next I value 6 less than or equals to 5. No, comes out. So like this it will print for the for loop. Now we'll see one special case in for loop, like what if I keep semicolon here at the end? What happens? So what will be the output? Can you guess the output? So the output will be here, like, so actually the output is 6. Why? Because you can see I equals 1, it will take 1 less than or equals 5. Yes, true, non-zero. Then you kept semicolon, means whatever the remaining lines, these lines are not belongs to this for loop. So that's why semicolon means your for loop is ending here itself. Next I value will be taken without printing this one. So what is the next I value? 2. Next 3, next 4. Every time condition is true. 4 is less than or equals 5. Yes, true. Next 5. 5 less than or equals 5. True. Next I value is 6. So 6 less than or equals 5. False. Then comes out. Now it has to execute these lines. So printf, what is the I value when it comes out of the for loop? Which is 6. So it prints 6. So even if you want, you can see the execution for this one. So here I'll take int I for loop. So the output you can see here for this simple one. So I from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now what if I keep semicolon here? You can see the output will be 6. So you can see the output is 6. Now let us suppose if I keep here 20, what is the output? Yes, you can say it is 21. But what about this one? If I remove less than, that means when it is false, that means 20 is less than 20. No, so that's why it will take 20. So like this 20. Now the next one, what if I write I plus equals to 2? So that means every time I is incremented by 2. So what will be the output? Is it 20 again? Check it out. It's not 20. You can clearly observe. So I start from 1. Every time I is incremented by 2. 1 will become 3. Yes, true. 3 less than 5, 7, 9, 11, like this. 13. Yes, true. 15, 17, 19 is true. 19 less than 20 is true. Then what is the next value? 21. So 21 is less than 20, false. So the value is 21 here. It's not 20. So like this, you have to check it out clearly, how much you incremented or how much you decremented. So this is what we need to check it out when you keep semicolon. So somewhere you may ask, like, why, what is the use? Anyway, for loop is used to execute a block of statements repeatedly. But if you keep semicolon, whatever the statements next to for loop are not executing repeatedly. So there is a need, there is a requirement, like when you go for the concept of strings in C language. So there somewhere you want to find the length of the string. So in that length of the string concept, you can use semicolon so that final I value will become the length of the string. So that also I'll explain in my next video lectures. Keep watching my video lectures and be updated. You can watch the concept of strings in my video lectures, so that you can find this one also, how to find the string length, so that by keeping semicolon and with using a less number of variables. So this is also one advantage we can find when you keep semicolon at the end of the for loop. So we'll see some more things in the next video lecture. So in this loops programming, so the questions, So this sort of the, not only this I want to cover totally, of course not only 20 questions. I'll update first, I'll complete these 20 questions, afterwards I'll update some more questions in this concept of looping. Thank you.